Hi there guys, I'm in the city of Valladolid in the Yucatan Peninsula. The city was founded in 1543 by the Spanish and they named it after the capital of Spain at that time. Now Madrid wasn't named the capital until later in the 16th century when Philip II moved it there. But initially the Spanish actually set this city up 30 miles north of here, right on the coast in a place called El Cuyo, but they didn't last very long there because of the humidity and the mosquitoes. Here it's December, it's about 30 degrees, so I'm not really sure how much respite they would have got down here. But anyway, when they moved here, there were about 1,000 Maya people living here in a town called Zaki. And the reason why they were able to live here is that in the centre of the town there's a cenote Zaki. Cenotes, for those of you who don't know, are sinkholes. So these things are created by limestone sort of collapsing down in on itself, and so they go down into sort of large rivers underground or reservoirs, and these were really important in this area for the Maya people because there were no surface rivers in the Yucatan Peninsula, so this is their only access to water. I'm now heading down to the main square where the church is, the main church that the Franciscan Spanish built, and yeah, we'll be able to check out some colonial architecture there. So we're now in the main square, and behind me you can see the Church of San Salvacio. This is one of 6 churches that the Spanish built when they were here. And when they arrived, the Mayans were building a flat-top pyramid in that spot. So the Spanish knocked it down and then used the local people to build that. So we're going to go over there now just to take a closer look at it, and yeah, I'll explain a bit more about it. So I don't know if you can see that, just above the stained glass window there is some brickwork which is in the sort of form or shape of a snake skin. So the Mayans did that because they were paying tribute to one of their most important gods, Kukulkan, and he was a feathered serpent deity. And snakes were important to the Mayans because they represented fertility. So when the Spanish found out what they were doing, they initially thought to take it down, and then they decided to leave it there because they thought, oh, it would enable the Mayans to sort of identify with the church, and it might help with their conversion to Catholicism. So I've just seen over to my left a dog that I've been hanging out with for the last few nights. So each night I've been going to the main square, just having a couple of beers and chilling with a few people, and this dog comes over every night, and he's a really lovely dog. So let's just see, he might be asleep. Here he is. Let's just see if we can say hello to him. I don't want to startle him, so let's have a look. Hello boy. ¿Qué tal? ¿Soy yo? Hmm? He's so docile, he's such a lovely dog. I'm gonna miss him when I leave. ¿Estás durmiendo, no? Bueno. Duérmate. Let's get a little pic with him. Oh, he's so lovely. Wish I could take him with me. So I'm just leaving the main square now, and we're going to head over to the cenote Zaki. Apparently it is closed, but we can still go and see it because there's a viewing platform. I'm not too fussed about the fact it's closed. I've been to 5 or 6 cenotes in the last few days, so I've got my fix of swimming in the water and jumping in from the swings, so we will. The thing is now is that we're heading away from all of the colonial architecture because this is the part of town where the Mayans lived. So when the Spanish were here, they lived in the centre and sort of on the other side where all the colonial buildings are. And here we don't have colonial buildings because the Mayans just lived in their sort of, I think they're like mud huts with straw roofs. I'm not exactly sure where the cenote Zaki is. I just know it's somewhere in the centre. Oh, this is the second of 6 churches, I guess. fact, this church looks like it might be a museum now. Let's just let's take a look. Looks like sort of Mayan artifacts. Maybe the entrance is around the other side. Let's have a look. Apparently now there are 35 churches in total in this town, which is I don't know, which is crazy when you think there's about 60,000 people. Hola, señor. ¿Es un museo aquí de artefactos maya? Ok, gracias. Ah, cubrebocas. ¿Y tienes que pagar? No. ¿No? Ah, ok. Muchas gracias. Oh, just putting the mask on again. Hola, buenos días. Hola, señora.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás?
Adelante, bien, bien, gracias.
Ah, gracias. ¿No tengo que poner mi nombre? Ok. It's not very big. I think we can do this in 5 minutes. Well, hopefully 1 minute, actually. Hola, señora. Tengo que apuntar mi número. Nombre,
sí.
¿no?
Sí, aquí.
Aquí.
De aquí hasta aquí.
Ok. Es pequeño, ¿no? Hay otros museos con artefactos.
Que yo sepa, no. En ese lugar no. Pero puede encontrarlos cercanos en otras comunidades. Como viene siendo Tizimín, ya abrió en Tizimín un museo en el que puede conocer más de Tizimín.
Ah,
sí.
Ok. ¿Y dónde está?
Esto es saliendo de aquí, yendo para Temozón. No sé si pueda ir a ver pedir en un taxi, solo le dice, ¿se me podía llevar a Tizimín o Temozón?
Ah, o sea, no se puede ir andando.
Sí, no se puede ir caminando.
Ah, ok. Ok.
Pero para ir a Tizimín, perdón, de aquí, dos cuadras y media, menos de 2 cuadras y media. De este lado está la entrada de los sitios de taxis para Tizimín, para que no pague flete. Porque si aborda uno de esos taxis de que van acá, le van a cobrar mucho. En cambio,
¿Cómo es mucho? ¿Como 100? Más de 100.
es un flete.
Ah.
Es un flete. En cambio, si va con las combis que van allá o los taxis,
Sí.
es pasaje que le van a cobrar.
Ok.
Sí.
Bueno, gracias. Voy a disfrutar de este museo primero y... Oh, the famous corn. Everything here is made with corn. It's incredible. It looks like a lot of this stuff came from Ekbalam. I went to Ekbalam yesterday, so it's a Maya ruin archaeological site. Really, really nice. Been to Chichen Itza and Ekbalam the last couple of days. I like Chichen Itza. You have to get there really early, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. But Ekbalam is so much better because you can actually climb up the Mayan ruins and you have amazing views over the landscape. I mean, it's just surrounded by jungle, so it really is quite an amazing thing. Anyway, I'm not terribly interested in this, so I think we'll move on to Zaki. Hola, señora. ¿Qué tal? Una pregunta, estoy buscando el cenote Zaki. ¿Sabes dónde está?
Acá donde están construyendo. Es acá.
¿Acá?
Sí, puedes ir por aquí.
Ajá. Está abierto, ¿no? ¿Se puede ver?
El restaurante, sí.
El restaurante.
Cenote, creo que puedes ver nada más el cenote.
¿Qué hacen aquí? ¿Qué construyen?
Es turismo, es para que vengan los turistas. No sé qué van a hacer.
Ah, como hoteles o apartamentos.
Ah, más o menos creo.
Ok. Ok, gracias.
Puedes por aquí.
Okay, it says it opened at 9 AM, it's now 11:30, so it should be open. The thing with Mexico is that when you go to their shops, you get there at 10 AM and they're closed, and then if you ask someone next door, you know, oh, what time's the shop open next to you, they say, oh, they have their timetable. So I mean, it could be any time. It could, you know, sometimes they won't even open until midday.
Hola.
Hola. No el cenote,
It's closed.
pero ¿puedo echar un vistazo?
Claro.
Gracias.
Permíteme, le voy a proporcionar, ¿ok?
Oh, claro. Hola, buenos días. That might actually be the first Christmas tree I've seen. Hey! How are you?
I didn't recognize you with you.
So I just bumped into two French girls that I met in Holbox. So that was a surprise. But yeah, here we are now at the cenotes. I've read that it's 100 meters deep and about 45 meters wide. Yeah, I wonder if people could jump in from the top there when it's open. I mean, doesn't look like they're doing much work, does it? It's just that it's been closed for maintenance. But I mean, the only person down there was a guy with a little fishing net. I think what we'll do now then is we'll go over to the convent, because there's another cenote there. I think it's underground. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but we'll head over there because what the Mayans did, they built a road. So they called their roads Zacbes, which Zac means white and Be means road. And they built a road going from the town centre to the cenotes. So that's what they did. They either built roads going to cenotes or to other towns so that they could you know, trade with other people. I've just walked back through the main square to basically head in the direction of the White Road, which will take us down to the convent. The other day, it was the 12th of December, and there was huge celebrations going on in Valladolid. And basically what they were celebrating was the day when the Lady Guadalupana first appeared in Mexico. So I knew nothing about this day, but talking to a taxi driver yesterday, he told me that this is basically the most popular day in the Mexican calendar because for them the Lady Guadalupana has more significance than Jesus. She's essentially the mother of Mexico. So I got a little bit of footage, and it's just loads of people that each year they basically decide on a handful of cities in which they will celebrate this day, and people will trek from all over the country to get to what was this year Valladolid. So they'll walk across highways, and apparently there are quite a lot of deaths because it's, you know, people will walk for maybe 2 weeks, and what I guess is effectively a pilgrimage. And yeah, huge celebration. So I got that on camera, so I'll show you guys that. But yeah, it was absolutely incredible. I'd never seen anything like it. It was almost as if they'd won the World Cup. Before we go to down Zac Bay though, I just want to take you and show you this shop, so just that you guys know never to ever buy anything or ask them to do anything. So it's called Sell World, and I took my phone in there yesterday because it's been broken for the last 5 days, and they said, okay, we will charge you 550 pesos if we fix it. If we can't fix it, you just give us 40 pesos. So that seemed a reasonable deal to me. So I took myself off to Ekbalam, came back a few hours later, and they said, oh yeah, we fixed the phone. So I said, okay, let me check. I checked it and they hadn't fixed it, and they said, well, we've done our job, so you've still got to pay us 550 pesos, and they refused to release it unless I paid them. So I ended up just going to the police, and unfortunately the police weren't really able to help. So I mean, they said a few options, one of them being pay the guy, the other being try and negotiate with them, or the third one was to go to Merida, which is a city a few hours away, and sue the company from there to get my phone back. So obviously I wasn't going to do that, so I ended up giving the guy his 550 pesos. I mean, and that was that. But that was yesterday. Today's another day, and yeah, we got to look to the positives. Beautiful sunshine, and we're in a beautiful city. And down this road as well, there's some really nice colonial buildings, so we can have a look at them. Some lovely restaurants as well, and there's a very nice vegan place you can go to for breakfast. Well, I think you can go there for dinner, but I went there for breakfast. Had some hot cakes, which were lovely. Hola. There's also in the road parallel a restaurant called Plaza Maya, and that's run by a guy called, well, he introduced himself as Don Ruben, and they do the most amazing longanizas. So I really recommend that place if you're in the area. It doesn't look much, you know, it's got holes in the roof, and they hang umbrellas upside down to capture the umbrellas, but the passion that this guy has for his food is incredible. And when he even gave us some starters without charging, because he wanted us to try these longaniza, because he was so sort of passionate about what he's doing. Hola, buenos días. Oh, this is the vegan place, La Carte. So you can see with these buildings, these colonial architecture, they all have very high ceilings, and then there's about 2 large rooms. Sometimes you get a third room, but then outside the back you have a huge area, and that's where they use to grow vegetables and foodstuffs. So we're now at the Convento de San Basilica, and in front we've got the city sign for Valladolid. I've been wondering where it was, because every single place that I've been to so far has these colourful signs, and I was sort of expecting this one to be down by the main square, so I'm glad I've finally found it. And the convent looks more like a castle than a place of worship, so let's go down. I'll go over and see if I can find out some information about it. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Hay que pagar por la entrada? ¿Cuánto vale? 40, ok. Una pregunta, ¿por qué el edificio parece más como un castillo que un lugar religioso?
¿Cómo?
El edificio es más como un castillo, ¿no?
Ajá.
¿Pero por qué?
Los franciscanos lo hicieron así.
Ah. Ok. Muchas gracias. So I'm just in the courtyard of the convent, and I've just been reading some information. It appears that there was a caste war in the Yucatan Peninsula during the 19th century, and it pitted the indigenous population against the Peninsulares and the Creoles. So the Peninsulares are people born in Spain and then come over to the Americas, and the Creoles are people who have Spanish parents. They're of Spanish descent, but they were born here in the Americas. So the indigenous people were revolting against forced labour. So, you know, they had to basically work on haciendas, which were landed estates owned by the Peninsulares and the Creoles, and you know, they were basically protesting against their employment rights. But I mean, have things really changed given what happened yesterday in the phone shop? I mean, I was in there and those kids were clearly more scared of their boss than the police. But back to this war then, and essentially it went on for 54 years. The bloodiest years of the war were the first few years, in which the population of Valladolid fell from 97,000 down to 23,000 in just a few years. So my only guess is that the Spanish built this, they sort of fortified the walls perhaps to, well, as a defence against the indigenous people. Una pregunta. ¿Es posible ver el cenote que está aquí o está cerrado?
El cenote es solo para mirar, pero no hay.
Ah, sí, entiendo, claro. ¿Dónde está?
Ese donde estaba esta. Ahí está otra boca donde está el coche. Hay otra boca.
Ah,
Sí.
en la esquina.
Sí, en la esquina hay también ahí donde está la noria.
Ajá.
Sí, hay un
Ah,
poco.
okay, ahí.
Sí.
Gracias. Alright, let's just see this cenote and then we can go and get some food. Oh, and buy a bus ticket as well. Amiguito. Right, how do we get up to this cenote? Nope. Oh, is this it? This can't be it. Not much to see, guys. ¿Esto es el cenote?
Sí.
Sí, esperaba un poquito más, ¿no? No. That was a little bit disappointing, wasn't it? Just reading here that the cenote is underneath the monastery, so I don't think it's actually possible to see it. They're saying here that they found weapons in the cenote, so they think that things like muskets, bayonets, spears, weapon parts and cannon within the depths of the cenote consider probable the fact that artifacts have been thrown inside between 1847 and 48 during the armed confrontations, you know, that caste war we were talking about earlier. So maybe people were throwing their weapons in there, you know, just to get rid of them, so they couldn't be accused of being against the Spanish. Right, I'm starving. Let's get out of here. Let's go get some food. So I'm back at the main square again. I seem to have spent a lot of time here over the last few days. So I just bought a bus ticket. I'm out of here in an hour, so I just want to pick up some food quickly. And I've been to this place before, this food hall here, just off the square. So I should go here and get something to eat. Might try a different stand for a bit of variety. But yeah, let's go.
Hay desayunos, hay almuerzos, hay de todo, jefe. Guacamole, panuchos.
¿Tienes comida típico de aquí?
Sí, tenemos el pork chop.
¿Pork chop? ¿Qué es pork chop?
Atrás de la carta. Al fondo de la izquierda, abuelita, corran 5 pesitos. Es vale.
Ah, ok. Pork chop. Ah, pork. Ah, con longaniza, panucho y
Sí, patrón, bien servido.
plátanos fritos. ¿Cuál recomiendas? Yo como todo.
Ok. Entonces,
Pues, no, ¿cuál recomiendas? O para
A ver,
ti, ¿cuál te
La
gusta?
verdad, el pokchuk. El pokchuk especial, patrón.
Oh, esto.
Uno.
Sí, uno.
Ok. Dame
Gracias.
un pokchuk especial.
¿Tienes chelas o...?
Chelas. No, patrón.
No.
No.
Oh, hay una chaya. ¿Tienes chaya?
¿Chaya sí hay?
Sí, chaya.
¿Una
So-
chaya con piña, chaya con limón o solo chaya?
Solo chaya.
Ok. ¿Cuánto va a ser de todo?
Oh,
5,
¿Cuánto es?
170, amigo.
170. Ahí tienes.
Ok. Dámela.
Gracias. Okay, that was easy. Just got a pok chuk. Apparently traditional dish here. So, and I got it with the longanita. So hopefully I can show you what that looks like. Alright. So this is the meal that I've ordered. Here we've got chaya, so this is Mexican tree spinach, and you know this tree is indigenous to the area. I've seen quite a few people drinking this, so I thought I'd give it a go, given that we don't have any beers. And then this is pok chuk, also a local dish. So it looks like we've got pork. This longanita is like the chorizo looking thing. The one I had the other day at Plaza Maya restaurant was, well, it looked much better. I'm sure this still tastes good. But yeah, if you want a good longanita, go to Plaza Maya. And then yeah, we've got the usual Mexican stuff. You know, we've got lime, we've got some sort of tomato sauce, and then we've got a ton of tortillas here. So let's get cracking. That's refreshing. Wasn't expecting to like it. I thought it would be maybe quite bitter or sour taste. But, I said we'd see each other again. So I just bumped into those two French girls again, and that's the thing with this city. It's quite small, and everything seems to be in quite a concentrated area. So you bump into people at various points of the day. But yeah, they're just off to go and do some shopping before their bus. So I shall get back to eating my meal. Just tried the longanita, quite good. Yeah, it's pork. It's a bit like chorizo, but it's drier. It's less greasy. It's good. And this is really refreshing. I think they must have put, it's got like a mint, cucumber. Yeah, if you're feeling dehydrated or hot and bothered, this is definitely the drink for you.